April 17, 1975 to January 7, 1979, after the fall of Phnom Penh, the ultra-communist regime, the Khmer Rouge, within hours, as part of an agrarian socialist revolution, Khmer Rouge told everybody to evacuate the city. A forced exodus of civilians from Phnom Penh commenced, and the regime perpetrated a ruthless agenda of forced labour and genocide under the leadership of Pol Pot, killing approximately 1.5 to 3 million Cambodian people. A former high school in Phnom Penh at Tu Sling was crudely converted into a torture centre known as S21. A shadowy figure, Kain Chanek Ek, also known as Dooch, oversaw arbitrary executions against perceived subversive members of the Khmer Rouge's own ranks, including women and children. The centre is now a genocide museum. After interrogation and torture, survivors were loaded into trucks and under cover of darkness taken to Chenek killing fields, a former Chinese orchard, 17 kilometres south of the capital, and brutally executed. No bullets were used, as this was considered a waste of resources. Dozens of mass graves are visible above ground, many which have not been excavated. Commonly, bones and clothing surface after heavy rainfalls, due in part to the large number of bodies still buried in shallow mass graves. The Khmer Rouge abolished currency, closed schools and hospitals and factories, and isolated communication with the rest of the world. Intellectuals and professionals were eliminated. Almost an entire generation of the country's educated people were lost. Owen Holcomb, an Australian expat in Cambodia, formulated the Come On Every People charity ride, an annual motorbike tour visiting tourist destinations with some off-road adventure riding 2,500 kilometres through the Cambodian countryside. The experience of a lifetime, making a difference to those less fortunate.
I've always liked to try and help people and always try to do it myself, you know, but I realised some time ago that if I actually told people and spoke to people and got them on board, we could do a lot more than just trying to do it myself. I come up with the idea of the ride because when I stopped working in Laos full time, I couldn't commit to supporting the Jesus School regularly. and this seemed like a good idea. It's hard to really tell you. You got to see it for yourself, but it can be dangerous. You got to keep your eyes open all the time. You got to remember on a motorbike that you're down on a pecking order. You know, people in big cars have got more rights than you here, and they'll use them. And oncoming cars will overtake and come straight at you. So you keep an eye on the edge of the road and ride on the edge of the road as much as you can. People come out all the time without looking, and 99% of the time they're just going to come to the edge of the road and go like that, and then they'll look in their mirror and they'll see you. So the motorbike shop is about a kilometre. So we go across Norridom, Street 51, go to the bike shop. We'll find a servo somewhere within the first couple of Ks, because those bikes will have bugger all fuel in them. With the XR250s, they got a dry sump, so the best time to check the oil on them is at the end of the day. So when we get to Kep tomorrow, turn the bike off, and a minute or so later check the oil, because by morning it will all have run back down into the sump. So the degree is different. It's a wet sump, so you got to check the water on them. They got their water cooled.
2 o'clock. It'll take you 10 minutes.
So we'll get everyone in the tuk-tuk in the car, and then follow me, because he don't know where he's going in the car either. So, and we'll go over to the bike shop. Everyone will have to sign the lease agreement and pay the full amount for the bike and give you a passport.
Come on.
No.
Yeah, you come back, you come here, see me, yeah?
Yeah, down there.
Yeah.
Be a good day today. Good weather. 160 kilometres. Once we get out of the traffic, everything will be good. Hopefully, everyone stays together.
Bit scared of riding such a big bike, but I'll be all right.
What's the issue with your bike?
I'm short. The issue is that I'm short. Motorbikes are fine. The issue's me.
Just about ready to go. All the rental agreements are done. Everyone's getting their bike ready, so, and we're making good time. By the time we get out on the main road here, the traffic should have died down a bit, and should have a good run out of town.
In Lao, they just have a bloke stand out with a bloody four-gallon drum.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, so far so good. Bit intimidating when you first set off. I think sure I'll get used to it.
A long way down. New Zealand bakery.
That's my most hated bit of road, that little bit there. But then about 100 k's up the road it gets really nice here. There's just too many trucks along this bit.
I think the float's stuck. So he's losing a lot of fuel and he can't control the revs on the bike. So they're going to get the guys from the shop to send another bike out, ride out a new bike for him and then take that one back.
The riders leave Phnom Penh travelling to the south coast of Cambodia to the popular coastal town of Kep, once under French rule, established in 1908, became a thriving resort town for the elite until the 1970s. Kep is famous for its renowned pepper and Kep salt, harvested from the local salt lagoons.
Sorry, how was the ride?
Really good. Yeah, superb. A little bit dusty, but nice.
Good ride?
Great.
Just the normal aches and pains. Backside, knees, hands.
Well, we're doing all right. We got here in one piece and nothing too much dramatic happened. Looking forward to getting in that swimming pool. Hey. Pretty hot.
Something we can lift the front ends up.
Chom lại chứ, chom đi ạ, chom đi ạ. Đây. Ra cho, tại nãy cho con hơi hơi.
The signature dish, pepper crab, is controversial because of overfishing of this delicacy, depleting stocks, and may not be served at some restaurants or hotels due to the contribution of destruction of nearby reefs and seagrass beds. Fresh from the ocean crab pots, self-selection to the kitchen pot, combined with local ingredients and of course regional pepper, a banquet of crabs is consumed with beverages. The riders enjoy the camaraderie, exchanging stories of the first section of the 16-day tour.
Hard work, mate. It is. For the amount of what you get out of it.
One local attraction is the famous seafood market, where the local catch of fish and crabs purchased by eager customers.
Nhà mình đại sport ao vậy.
After a good night relaxing and earned rest followed by a hearty breakfast, the bikes are checked for the next leg of the journey. Riders and support vehicle proceed in procession, ride from Kep to the main highway to Koh Kong province on the Cambodian-Thailand border.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you all.
Stopping a few minutes to replenish the ice chest to keep our water and other products cold.
Okay.
So we'll put a warm it there.
Well, like I said, when I said everyone gone. There you go.
There it is now.
A rear tyre on the support vehicle blew out, damaging the tyre beyond repair. All the luggage had to be removed to access the spare wheel. With the wheel replaced, we continued pursuing the riders, who were ahead some distance. After refuelling at the local service station, the group continued to the next township and had the damaged tyre replaced for a cost of $90 US.
Good ride so far?
Yeah, I hear. Had to change the tyre.
for one here, for here. Here. Okay.
Chúng hiên chắc viên trang hay bạn đi
Vâng.
xài cái đi chung.
Rồi chạy không như vậy phải ăn khay mì ăn cát về.
Tha mẹ kêu mà ra khai cả lụa tờ lại pan đang đai cho miền tam thư bia bảo sân
Let's
cái
fit. They put on.
học pram chế hẳn đang mặc
Dạ.
quạt bài sập.
Đã ao chứ.
Yeah, be where that yellow line comes in there, I reckon.
Later at a small hamlet, we enjoy a hearty Khmer lunch.
That's unbelievable. How good is that?
One of the bikes breaks down with ignition issues. Owen endeavours to solve the problem, while some venture to the small cluster of homes nearby, a chance for the riders to meet some of the locals. With no success of repairing the ignition, the bike is slowly towed to Koh Kong. Arriving under the golden sunset evening at Koh Kong City Hotel and settling into our accommodation, then enjoy relaxing by the Riverside restaurant. The tropical evening air encouraged the group to enjoy the friendly hospitality and delicious Western-style menu and cheap beer at Fat Sam's restaurant. Preceding the dinner, some experienced the local nightlife while others retired for the early morning start the next day. Koh Kong Provisional City is located just below the southern end of the Cambodian mountains southwest of Cambodia. The planned itinerary to travel through the mountains was cancelled due to heavy rains during the past 24 hours, making it impractical for trail bikes to ride to Battambang.
Trat, Thailand. Yes.
Thailand.
Yes. Team start for week.
So you're going up to the Monakari Mountains today, are you?
Today go to Thailand. Yes.
Through the mountains? Mondakeri?
Yes, yes.
The itinerary deviation was to backtrack towards Udong and through a mountain range towards the next destination, Battambang, the next day. A full day of riding. We stop at a mountain temple for a short break.
We're good.
Continue the journey via an unsealed road and required repairs to a broken throttle cable on one of the bikes.
We stop, everyone's down with the phone.
I know. Thank you.
And then next minute, give the clock.
We got my gear off.
How's your ride so far, mate?
Yeah, pretty good.
Bit of a rough road like, eh?
Yeah, it was alright though. Good fun though. Prefer it off-road than on-road. Oh yeah, do it again, yeah.
We're soon on the road again, travelling towards a city in central Cambodia as we intercept the afternoon rush period of clothing factory workers finishing work, mostly women, earning a meagre income of about $170 per month, slightly more with overtime.
Want to chuck them in the fish pond now, or?
You got one. Everybody got a key?
Yeah. I think I'll have my own room, thanks very much.
Had a good day, no dramas. Bit of a hiccup back there with a broken throttle cable, but didn't set us back at all. So nice to stop for the day.
Yeah, mate, I'm doing all right. Anything's good.
We'll go down to the river here, the Tonley Sap, and just have a look for a boat, have a look at the floating village, and then we'll get on the road to Battambang. We'll go and have a look at a temple.
The city is located west of the Ton Sap River and has a small port with the economy dominated by rice production, with many locals living on the river on floating villages during the high water monsoon season.
I don't need a life jacket, I float. The only good thing about being fat.
It's not powdery?
It's very sweet. Little seeds don't crunch up around.
province at the moment of Kampong Spew, and you work with rehabilitation.
Yep.
What does the work entail?
So normally we provide the rehabilitation service that we have, like we provide prosthesis or orthosis. Okay. So, and besides that, we also have the people with disability who have a congenital, but he have difficulty, he need like wheelchair or some assistive device. We also provide like that kind of assistive device to them.
Hold it back when you take the hands.
After some minor repairs to the bikes, we continue our journey to Battambang. Quick stop as Darryl inspects some local stone masonry of spiritual significance. Arriving in Battambang several hours later, we stay overnight before leaving early the next morning for 2 days R&R in Siem Reap and some sightseeing.
We got about 180 to Siem Reap, so steady, should be there for lunch and then relax. Some people might want to go out to Angkor Wat for the sunset, but I won't be doing much. I'm feeling buggered, actually.
There are many roadside stalls in Cambodia. Here we find several selling sticky rice called krailan, a rich food and Cambodian savoury snack consisting of pre-cooked rice, coconut milk, black beans, and is only available in a handful of places. We found these sellers on the outskirts of Battambang.
You like Shredder?
Yeah, very good. Yes, thank you.
Number one.
Black beans.
Siem Reap, translated, means Siam defeated, an international known resort town in northwest Cambodia and gateway to the famous temple ruins of the millennium Old Temples of Angkor, over 400 intimate stone buildings from the Khmer Empire, a World Heritage listing. Focal point, the most visited, is the preserved Angkor Wat. After settling into our hotel, cinema photographer John travelled to Rantak Ek village, Prasat Bakong district, 30 kilometres from Siem Reap, to film the new location for the disposal and recycling of the city's increasing garbage due to the town's popularity with tourists. The city produces some 270 tonnes of garbage a day. The former dump site at Anglong Pai, a few dozen kilometres away from the world-famous Angkor temples, was a horrendous place where about 300 people had lived and breathed toxic chemicals on a daily basis, collecting trash from the company's dump, earning between $3 and $5 a day to support themselves. However, with the new facility, the company has banned garbage pickers from the site for health and safety reasons and further marginalising those in extreme poverty who cannot find other suitable means of employment, due in part a lack of skills and education.
Welcome to Riverside Hotel, Siem Reap, Cambodia. We would like to inform about our hotel. That this is a snooker. We open from 1 o'clock until 10 o'clock in the evening. In the middle of the hotel, we have a swimming pool. So please follow me. Come on. There are 60 rooms in our hotel. We have a standard room, superior room, and the deluxe room. This is a J. Varaman 7 that he's a mega Angkor Wat. I have a restaurant that we open from 6 o'clock until 10 o'clock. We have a lot of souvenirs that you want to buy, and we have clothes and more souvenirs that you want to buy. អរគុណច្រើន
We leave Siem Reap inside Angkor National Park and visit a 4-gallery museum exhibiting diffused ordnance of landmines, including mortars, guns and weaponry. Founded by a do-it-yourself former Khmer child soldier, Akri Ra, who laid thousands of mines during the Civil War conflict, in 1991, Akri Ra was employed by the United Nations During this period, he found many orphan, abandoned and injured children while working in these villages and brought them home to live with him and his wife Hort. Eventually, he brought home over 24 boys and girls. Children living at the Cambodian Landmine Museum Relief Centre are supported by funds from the museum ticket sales, donations and sales from the small shop, and entirely dedicated to feed, clothe them and send them to school. The museum explained the horror, the aftermath of war in Cambodia, where there are still many active landmines that maim or kill locals every year, though the number of accidents have declined in recent years. On the road again, we stop and sample and purchase some very sweet locally produced palm sugar offered for sale at roadside stalls. A natural sugar, palm sugar is harvested through a special technique called tapping. There is minimum processing required, boiling the sap in slow fire with continuous stirring, removing the moisture content, leaving a thick syrup, then further reduced to crystals. Our taste buds are pleasantly surprised and purchases are made from the vendors. Some admire the display of handcrafts of cooking and eating implements, chopsticks, spoons, forks, bowls, cups and plates made from the very versatile sugar palm tree. The Come On Every People charity ride continues to An Veng, located on the Thai-Cambodian border, a small town in Odo Menchi province, northwestern Cambodia, north of Siem Reap, in the area of Dangur Mountains, the last Khmer Rouge strongholds after the regime was toppled in January 1979, and home of the butcher Ta Mok, brother number 5, who died in a military hospital in 2006, and the final resting place of Pol Pot, brother number 1, the leader of the genocidal organisation, who died of natural causes in his remote wooden house in An Veng in 1998. The Khmer Rouge regrouped and were able to stage guerrilla incursions for almost 2 decades before a mass defection of remnants of the Khmer Rouge came to an end in 1998, agreed to integrate and, in exchange, given citizenship status. The riders settle into the hotel, and following some minor maintenance of bikes, we visit a local primary school, meeting teachers and students. Small gifts of pencils and other educational resources were distributed, bringing smiles and appreciations of Akun thank you from the children and teachers. Education materials are difficult to obtain due to limited funds, and any donated resources are always welcome. A local teacher, accompanied with a charity rider cinematographer, John, visit a local bookstore, purchasing books for another local primary school who had no books on the library shelves. $100 later, and a collection of books was distributed to excited and exceedingly grateful eager hands of young students with much appreciation from the school teachers. Leaving An Veng, the charity ride ventures to Previlla Temple complex, situated on a plateau, a unique complex linked by pavement and staircases. The architecture, composed of a series of sanctuaries, is dedicated to Shiva. In June 2008, the 11th century temple was the scene of a border dispute between Thailand and Cambodia. There were several military clashes between opposing forces until the 15th of December 2001. After 3 years, 5 months, 3 weeks and 2 days, the International Court of Justice awarded the promontory of Previlla to Cambodia that shares an 800-kilometre border with Thailand. The ICJ created tension zones around the temple following the dispute. Both sides of the conflict retain a small military outpost presence at either side of the respective borders, and the two countries have agreed to maintain peace at the historical temple and to avoid any conflict that would cause tensions.
We've been following the three bikes we've been following. The two girls and... no, I'm just looking at... No, it might be just up ahead of me at the moment. So you must be behind me. Oh, did you get fuel? I've got 3 bikes ahead of me, yes, maybe even 4. Yeah, well that's right. I've got the rest of them here with me. We're 50 k's from base.
Heading in what direction?
50 k's from our hotel.
Okay, so you're on the right road. Because I've been sitting on nearly 80 mile an hour for the last 10 minutes and I haven't caught you.
Well, try 90. Righto, we'll get on a tow and we'll get some fuel. Next fuel stop. Hold up, otherwise you're going to run.
travel on to the small locality of Trabeng Menche, the sleepy capital, Prey Villa province in northern Cambodia, and stay overnight. There's little to see or do here, and the following morning after a light breakfast at a local restaurant, the charity riders and support vehicle traversed the black ribbon of bitumen meandering over an unsealed road to the Kong waterfalls. an impressive cascading series of waterfalls in the Mekong River and Champasak province near the Cambodian border with Laos. Located south of Dakon Island, the waterfall is 21 metres high with majestic views from a pavilion. Another deviation from the main road, we visit the Mekong River dolphin estuaries for some relaxation and a swim in the river to refresh from the hot, dry ride before leaving for our next destination.
cái xe phá nó nhẵn rồi đó. Qua nó bay này.
How far? 120, maybe more than 450. 180, maybe only 350.
Wow, thirsty.
Yeah.
Nice hotel.
Some of the group visit the largest wooden home in Cambodia and ponder the unique construction of the building.
មួយម៉ាក់អស់នេះអត់5,000នេះអូយថ្លៃអស់មក5,000ណាទេវា3,000ទៅចា4,000 3បាទណាបិទនោះ3អានេះ4ទៅ7ទៅទុកថ្ងៃទៀតសាម៉ា1គីឡូម៉ាក់អ៊ំ1គីឡូ7,000អូខ្ញុំយកស្វាយមកហើយអ៊ំយកមកពីណាណោះបាទយកមកវៀតណាមនេះអត់ទេមកពីខ្មែរយើងទៅនេះមែនទេមកខ្មែរតាចុះស្វាយយកពីណាអ៊ំស្វាយ1គីឡូ7,000នេះកន្លះគីឡូ3,000ទៅហើយលុយខ្ញុំយកកន្លះអូនេះជាប់អ៊ំមែនហើយឡូខ្ញុំទៅនឹងជាប់អ៊ំ
We soon take a lunch break at the small village of Konak, located between Stung Treng and San Manoram. We savour local bread rolls, salads and iced coffee and other beverages, exchanging conversations about the day's ride thus far.
Chicken's balls.
Give it to the dog.
Oh, oops. A lot of.
There he is.
Much bone there, mate. We get stuck in the ring here.
Owen, it seems, has made some four-legged friends. The dogs apparently have a kindred spirit towards him.
They're good. They don't fight each other, these dogs. They're quite well mannered. The group depart with more energy and enthusiasm for the next section of the charity ride. Oh, we're about 20-30 minutes from San Manoram.
How many days on the road now?
This is day 12. No. Day 12, yeah. Getting a bit tired. I think everyone's getting a bit tired, but not long to go now. And it'll be all over for another year.
Come on every People charity ride, support vehicle driver, passengers and riders, refresh and refuel before continuing to San Manoram, our last destination of the day. We have a brief stop to stretch the legs and rest the body at the top of the mountain range, enjoying the views of the rolling landscape and the low country before continuing the journey. Popular with NGO workers and tourists and generally inhabited with the indigenous Penong people, San Manoram is the only major town in Mondulkiri province. On the outskirts of Sen Manoram, on a dirt road, we arrive at the Nature Lodge Eco-Tourist Resort, nestled on 6 hectares, submerged in a natural environment. We are provided bungalow accommodation spaced out in the valley surrounded by nature. Some cows and horses roam freely. It is an ideal place and a base to relax and take in the mountain air before venturing into the province. A restaurant and bar provides a relaxing place to reflect or just wind down from a day's tour to the Elephant Valley Project, one of several elephant sanctuaries in the Mondulkiri, a social enterprise project providing vocational training and employment opportunities for local residents in Mondulkiri province. A full-day tour, 12 kilometres from Sen Manoram, is the Mondulkiri Highlands, an educational day of trekking the natural jungle valley floor with an experienced guide introducing elephants rescued from various locations in Cambodia, now living out their final days in the natural surrounding habitat.
Welcome to the Elephant Valley Project, guys. Hope you're all in for a lovely day. Point in time, there's about 35 to 40,000 Asian elephants left in the world. Cambodia, we briefly mentioned it in the car on the way over, but it's been heavily hit by deforestation and war, particularly over the last 40 years, to a point now where elephant populations, they've just dropped. So there's now roughly 72 in captivity and about 400 to 600 in the wild. Now most of them in this province, Mondulkiri, there's about 45 in captivity and about 400 to 500 in the wild. We're going to be walking in this direction behind you, downhill. It's about a 20-minute walk downhill. It's been fairly dry these last couple of days, but the moss is pretty prominent at the moment, so please avoid it. There is plenty of grass you can stick to on the way down. There are steps that you can use. There's a handrail on the way down as well, just for better support. Welcome to heaven. The reason why we call this valley heaven is simply because everything around you is what an elephant loves. So you've got loads of grasses for them to feed on, particularly bamboo, big old trees to scratch on, running river to bathe and drink from, and wild fruits are scattered throughout this valley. So it's heaven. So we are here because this is their bathing area. These elephants know this is where they come every morning. It's part of a routine, and they remember that.
Learning about their amazing stories of trial and tribulations as the tour shadowed 2 family groups throughout the day, meeting the local people and taking in the highly unique opportunity to be in the midst of these gentle giant beasts of former burden is enjoyed by all the group. Have a bit of coffee, get up mate, all down.
I can't talk, mate.
Cambodia's celebrated elephant Sambo, once used by the Khmer Rouge and mistreated badly, was providing tourist rides near the Wat Nom in Phnom Penh and was retired in 2014 to the sanctuary, now cared for with Elephant Valley Project Rehabilitation Sanctuary staff who daily bathe her feet. Due to poor hoofs after years of trudging the hot, hard bitumen streets, cannot be released to roam the jungle valley floor like the other elephants at the sanctuary. One of the premier tourist attractions in the province, consisting of 300,000 hectares of protected forest, including 1,500 hectares of forest for 10 elephants and supporting 2,000 plus people. We say goodbye to Seminole, continuing to Karachi, a small town on the banks of the Mekong. Some distance from Karachi, a stretch of water north of the city is home to a group of endangered rare Irrawaddy dolphins, the town's main tourist attraction. Engaging the services of one of several boats plying trade to the tourists eager to get a glimpse of one of the dolphins, our boats slowly drift over the calm water, eyes scanned, straining for the telltale signs of a dolphin servicing. On this occasion, there was no confirmed sighting during the short journey in the late summer afternoon, and returned to shore, relax and watch the setting sun drift below the horizon for yet another day to rise again. Bikes are checked and the riders pack their carry racks and head for a coffee and breakfast before travelling to Kampong Cham. Following the Mekong River, we board a ferry crossing the Mekong and arrive at Kampong Cham for a late lunch. A scenic ride brings us to the top of Hanthay Mountain, a hilltop temple with magnificent views overlooking the Mekong River in the valley as it meanders its flow southward to the ocean. Kampong Cham is a province of Cambodia. The city, once part of the Khmer Empire, has two main bridges, Stung Treng on the Mekong and the Sikong Bridge on the Mekong River. The afternoon spent relaxing, we later visit a local orphanage. Some of the riders interplay with some sports activities and meet some of the school children returning late afternoon. Many of these children have heart-wrenching stories. However, they are safe and well cared for. In recent years, Cambodian authorities have tightened regulations on a once lucrative business by unsavoury people using disadvantaged children for personal gain, tugging at the hearts of visitors, taking advantage of their emotions and compassion. A friendly, quiet picture postcard town in Cambodia and paved stretch of road fronted by the Stung Treng River is the centre for evening social gatherings and locals enjoying the drink stands and other culinary foods on offer by the street sellers. The last day of an incredible 2,500 kilometres of riding through Cambodian countryside draws to a close, and thankfully no accidents or serious breakdowns, except today Graham's bike developed ignition issues, failing to start. A local mechanic endeavours to solve the problem, to no avail.
On my bike.
It's decided that the bike will be left for transport back to Phnom Penh. A large disappointment for Graham, who came from England for the charity ride, joins the support van for the last leg to Phnom Penh. The generous Karina gave her bike to Graham to ride the last section into Phnom Penh and the rental bike shop. The bikes returned to the rental shop with passports received by their owners after final paperwork completed to satisfaction. The team arranged tuk-tuks to visit the Jesus School to mingle with the children and staff and share some special moments. Phnom Penh's poorest families struggle to build a life, and many once worked and lived amid mountains of garbage and Stung Menchi, once the largest trash dump in Cambodia, closing in 2009. In 2003, during a visit there, Pastor Meng Ang Awa met a young boy who was working to support his family, and after speaking with him, he decided to invest in founding the Jesus School in Phnom Penh. His vision to educate children of the dump workers and provide them a pathway to better life opportunities. The need to educate children who cannot afford school fees is immense and relies on donor support. The school continues to grow with over 200 enrolled students from kindergarten to grade 6, receiving free education, uniforms and educational materials. The school provides assistance for children to enrol in government high school following completion of grade 6.
I need a drink. Yeah, all good, yeah. What's that?
Your pet kennel.
Yeah, no. Looking for somebody for a donkey fight.
Football nhọn. Football nhọn.
Charlie dog, Charlie dog.
Cambodia remains one of the poorest countries in the world after years of civil war and loss of teachers with intellectuals had a profound effect, especially for children in poverty, that forces children to decline the opportunity of education, due in part to the costs and the need to work contributing to the family income to support their most basic needs. 1/3 of Cambodia's population live on less than $1 a day, and 80% of Cambodians live in rural locations.
Ông mình nhầm phì chọc.
Đi, đi tập lên cho mày.
Anh không tập năng là là sao?
Ông lái.
Ông xa quyền đội tô cố riêng mình ở lại.
Balik. Balik pantai Amrit kali.
A visit to nearby Mercy Village, where in 2016 the entire community was erased by fire through an electrical fault, and again repeated in 2017, were again victims of an electrical fault. Some of the community work in clothing factories, tuk-tuk drivers, coolies, or menial work collecting recyclables from the streets. They are happy in the knowledge that their children have access to free education at the school, avoiding their children having to work to help support the family, and giving their children an opportunity to break the poverty cycle.
So thank you everybody who came and who put their hand in their pocket, and I hope you come back and I hope you tell everyone about it.
Thank you very much to all of you, and especially to Owen, who are always stand along, and straight down, and always stand with us to support those children. And those children from generation to generation, their parents, their grandparents die on the garbage dump. They work all of their life, die there, and they not go to school. But this time, their children can write, can read our language, and then through your support, those children, we really believe that they have better future and then they have better job. And through that free education that we provide to them. So again, thank you very much for doing that to support us and our children.
Some of the places that I hadn't been to, I'd never been to the Elephant, and I'd never been to Battambang or Koh Krong. So that part of the country was really interesting because I hadn't been to those parts. And it was just nice to go back and have a look at some of the places we went a few years ago. I just take away how much I love the country, and how I'm already planning on the next time I come back.
So Ben and I came and did a trip with Owen 2 years ago, just Owen and Strader, and we spent 7 days riding his postie bikes around Cambodia. It was interesting to see how people deal with disadvantage here as well. People have a lot less over here, but they seem to be always happy and put a lot of emphasis on family and things like that, and I think that's really good. So, definitely, it was great. Yeah, definitely good.
I always get touched by the kids and the simplicity of how the people live and how something so small can bring such joy. See that in the faces of the kids. That's the really special part. It's the people here. The sights and the smells and all that, and in particular the kids. They tug on your heartstrings. I find that very special.
One of the best trips I've ever done, with one of the most genuine blokes I've ever met. He showed us all around Cambodia, showed us the poor area. Pretty heartbreaking seeing them live like that. It got better as it went on. Different venue every day, different roads, different tracks. The whole 16 days was an highlight. I'll definitely be back.
Come on, every people, come on.